15 pieces of dumb advice unsuccessful people give you. Welcome to this video, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello, viewers. Buckle up. We're going to burn some bridges. Today, the world is filled with people who don't amount to much, willing to share with you the right recipe for success. You've seen them all around you. They're on Facebook, your Instagram. They're your best friends or even your family. Although they mean well and they might generally have your best interest at heart, the advice they give you is not always the best. Not that it's through any fault of their own. They've been fed these misleading quotes and pieces of what they consider knowledge ever since they were little, and have grown to consider it fact, which really does more harm than good. Fair warning, snowflakes. We're about to tear down all those quotes you've proudly been sharing. So if you're easily offendable, guess what? The world doesn't care. And we don't either. For those of you still watching, everything should be taken with a grain of salt. There are no universal truths and everything is questionable. The meaning and application of these changes based on your situation, your environment, your upbringing, and yes, even your race, religion, and mindset. With that said, here are 15 pieces of generally acceptable dumb advice we've noticed floating around. Number 1. Be yourself. This is the worst advice you can give some people. What the hell does it even mean? You shouldn't be yourself. You should always try to be the best possible version of yourself, which is totally different. Before anything else, you need to find yourself. This takes time and a ton of effort. You need to be aware of what makes you you, what makes you happy, what doesn't. What are your passions? What are your goals? What are your expectations in life? What is your current reality? And what do you want your future reality to be like? Just saying be yourself assumes that one is enough, just as one is. And the world should not only accept your current state, but somehow reward you for it. Once you find who you are really and who you want to be that. Number 2. If you work hard, you can achieve anything. We've said it before, if hard work was the only factor when it comes to success, the world would be run by coal miners or the people hunting crabs on that TV show. Hard work is important, but sorry to say this, it ain't enough. In order to be successful in life, you need to master a variety of skills. You need a certain level of education regarding your field. You need to have strong social skills. You need to have an edge or competitive advantage, a strong but achievable goal, good managerial skills, and the ability to adapt to ever-changing situations. Once you have all that, hard work comes into play. Blindly following the mantra of hard work will get you anything, will help you move forward, but it gives you no direction most of the time. Being smart about it will yield a way better result in the long run. Number 3. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Really, what doesn't kill you may leave you paralyzed for life, barely alive. Not only could it ruin your life, but it could affect the lives of those around you. By this, people usually mean that failure should not stop you from trying again. But please remember that although your desire might be unlimited, your finances, the years you have in your life, your physical body, and the stress levels you can endure are limited. You only get a couple of shots in your life, so you might want again to be smart about it. Why put yourself in a situation that might metaphorically kill you when you can do better? People who say this are weak and point out what lessons you should learn from the disaster that happened into your life, because they're not the ones dealing with it firsthand. You'll never hear someone who lost a child tell another couple who's been through the same tragedy that they're now stronger. Number 4. Everything happens for a reason. What a load of bullshit. People who say this have it completely backwards. Things don't just happen. Things happen because you or an external force makes them happen. It's physics. Once you understand cause and effect, you stop looking for meaning in every single thing. Life is chaos. We live in a world that we ourselves as a species created, and over a long period of time, we've added rules, built structures, developed cultures, myths, and ways of doing things. Unfortunately, this is not what most people want to hear. The world doesn't care about you as an individual unless you make it care. The world can go on just fine without you. Even the mightiest individuals could have been replaced, and the earth would still keep on spinning. Do you understand how selfish and self-centered you have to be to think that on the planet of almost 8 billion people, somehow you've been born under a special star and there's a special path for you? I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but that's not the case. That's what Hollywood did to you. Everyone thinks they're the lead in a movie and they're just the extras, but that's okay. You can live a happy and fulfilling life as an extra. But if you're tired of being an extra, start writing a new script and make it a good one. Number 5, just wait and let love happen to you. Oh, please. This needs to stop. We are tired of people who refuse to leave their homes, complaining about not meeting that special someone we've caught. News for you. Unless he or she is the one delivering the pizza to your doorstep, it's not going to happen. But it's not that I'm not open to meeting new people. It's just that I have such high standards that nobody meets them and I just don't want to settle. Let me drop some knowledge on you. If everyone around you is below your standards, you're either in the wrong place or you're in the right place and just don't know it. Do you know how many women say they're holding off for a guy who's at least 6 foot tall, has a brand new car and a cool penthouse apartment, is super successful, loves dogs and has a six-pack, while they themselves only bring a shitty Spotify playlist and some student debt to the table? Come on, ladies, smarten up. That applies to guys. Also, stop thinking that you're going to bang a Victoria's Secret model when you still work at Target. Let me break this down for you and just listen up, because this might change your life. You can't have high expectations of someone else without having them at least as high about yourself. Want to date someone in great shape? Get in shape yourself. Want to date someone who's successful? Become successful yourself. Experiment. Get out. Try new things, meet new people. Otherwise, at some point, you'll just have to settle for whatever is available. If you want to live a more adventurous life, we've put together the ultimate efforts, which you can check out in the top right corner, number 6. Do what you love. If there's one piece of advice people always like to give, it's just do what you love. This is terrible advice, at least early on in your life or career. And let me explain why. Early on, you shouldn't do what you love. You should do what gets you paid. If you're passionate about painting and feel that this is what makes you complete, that is awesome. You've got a great hobby. Early on, you'll find yourself in the position having to pay rent, get a mortgage, fill up the gas tank in your car, and suddenly your passion isn't enough. Don't get us wrong. It is very important to know what makes you complete, what your passions are, and what would make you happy. But in order to make that possible, you need 2 things. First, take care of the basics. That means to no longer have to worry about your existence. Your bills are taken care of and your family is taken care of. The last thing you'd want to do is for your child to be hospitalized and you trying to pay for his hospitalization with mud clay pots, because that's what you're into. Like it or not, the world runs on money. Get enough of it and you're safe. Second thing is, you need resources to put into your passion to see a return greater than it just makes you feel good. When I say resources, I'm talking about both money and time. If your passion is music and you want to put this passion of yours to work, then you need both the time to study and practice, along with enough money to buy yourself the gear, and all this is needed. Believe it or not, passions are expensive. It seems today that every business asks their workers to be passionate about whatever it is they're doing. But that takes away from the merits of actual hard work. How can someone be passionate about carpet cleaning or making a footlong sub? You can do what you love, but you got to do a lot of other shit before you can reach that point if you want it to be sustainable. Number 7, good things come to those who wait. How many times we got to say it? Nobody owes you anything. Nobody's coming to bring you. That's something you think you deserve, but never earned. Good things don't come to those who wait. The good things are earned by those who get up every single morning, invest in themselves along the way, and through hard work, they position themselves in the right way so they get the rewards they want. What's with all this entitlement? Why do people believe that all you have to do is wait? What kind of illusionary environment have these people been raised in? If you're not the one who's going to do it, don't expect the rewards from it. You earn the things you want. You don't look for handouts. Some rewards might take longer to be achieved, but it's not the time that's going to get it for you. But the effort and the fact that you keep pushing for that amount is what qualifies you for such a reward. Number 8. Time heals all wounds. No, please never say this to anyone going through deep emotional pain, because it doesn't. This might work when your high school crush friend zoned you, but that's not what the real world is like. Some things scar you for life, and you just have to learn to live with the pain. Go ahead, tell a couple that's just lost their 14-year-old son to leukemia that time will heal their wound. Nothing heals that. The hole will be inside you until you die. You just have to learn to live with that pain. There are some things that do permanent damage to you, and you need to be aware of that. People who throw around this kind of advice are ignorant to the pain someone else is going through. Don't be one of those people. Number 9, always follow your heart. First off, that makes no sense whatsoever. What people mean by follow your heart is either follow your passion, which we've already debunked above, or follow what your gut tells you is the right thing. Let's debunk that second one once and for all. In business and in life, your gut can be an incredible tool. It's that edge that someone pushes you to take a risk against the grain for a bigger reward. But your gut needs to be trained. You need to flex that muscle a lot until you can rely on it. Remember how stupid you were when you were a kid? How about 10 years ago? Do the actions of the heart still make sense now that you've acquired more knowledge? Probably not. You look back at yourself and you think, oh geez, how stupid was I? When it comes to life, you need to do what will get you closer to the place you want to be in. Your heart might tell you to throw it all away for your brain to make you realize what you've done after the case is closed. Your heart is stupid. Use your brain. Number 10. You're so young. You have all the time in the world. That's false. You have a limited amount of time to figure out your life and then get busy. Working toward whatever you decide is a worthy goal. People who give this advice are those who have used it themselves, and look how they ended up. It's usually the people who postpone important but difficult tasks in favor of short-term pleasure. Why study and read business books when you can hang out at the pub and watch the game 4 days a week? And weekends as well? Because even God rested on weekends. Assuming an individual reaches the age of 20, he's got around 40 years to make sense of everything. That's all. 40 years. It might sound like a lot, but it really isn't. Between 20 and 30 is your learn as much phase and take big risks. This is when you've got the most freedom. You can survive on low income and pursue long shots. If you're smart about it and you position yourself right in your 20s, you've got a great future ahead of you in your 30s. Between 30 and 40 is when you start building a family. The second the first child comes, your ability to take risks decreases drastically. You want to play it safe just to provide for your family. You start making compromises in order to maintain or slightly increase your earnings. But you'd never endanger the livelihood of your family. Between 40 and 50, it's your coasting period. Life keeps moving forward and you're playing catch up. Technology is changing, trends are changing. The world becomes a scary place, and you just want to keep making sense of it all. Between 50 and 60, your children are maturing and ready to start the cycle all over again. You look back at your life and you've done well. But it's what you've done in those early years that made all the difference. The sooner you start, the better of a shot you've got at making it. If you want to learn more about how to manage your time and increase your chances of becoming rich, we've made a secret playlist with the best of our videos. We called it the Get Rich playlist, and you can check it out. In the top right corner, number 11. God never gives you a burden that you can't carry. We didn't want to bring God into this, whichever God you believe in. But we've heard this advice a lot, and we know that some of you have come across it. The world is not fair. Things don't happen for a reason. Things just happen. And you got to learn to live with them or call it quits. At the end of the day, it's your choice. You live in the real world where actions have consequences, and we're all a part of a tiny, continuously moving ecosystem. That's all there is to it. Nobody is testing you. The world just happens. And it's up to you how you respond to it. As for the all-loving God's burden, what about the children that died of dehydration in Somalia last summer? Guess they could have carried that burden, they just didn't want to. Number 12, you need money to make money. This is one thing all beginner entrepreneurs say to justify their failures. Any fool can make money if you give them enough money to begin with. There are certain investments that are stupidity-proof high-end real estate. If you buy a building in the middle of Manhattan and just wait 10 years, congratulations, your investment just quadrupled in value. The real challenge is to make money. When you don't have money, that's what makes or breaks entrepreneurs. We live in this age where people are so accustomed to using external investments to fuel their early days. In the startup, it's even celebrated. We've got a friend who threw big parties after they secured a $250,000 investment from a VC fund. What they don't realize is that the second you take external money, that's your first failure. You have failed to grow this thing organically, and you need someone else to keep you afloat. Time is valuable. Use your time and knowledge to make yourself money early on. Then take that money and try to grow it until you have enough to make money using money alone. Number 13. Think positive thoughts and the universe will provide. People who say this kind of bullshit have only read one book, The Secret. It's a great book. Sounds good, doesn't work. The book implies that all you have to do is think positive thoughts. Those writers are some sneaky bastards. It's the same with the way God answers a prayer. Yes. No, not yet. The system is foolproof. If you think positive thoughts and nothing happens, you just stop thinking them and realize that this is all bullshit and you get back to work. If something does happen by chance, you immediately attribute it to your positive thoughts. First of all, the world works on action and reaction. You do this, then that happens. You work 1 hour, you get paid for 1 hour, you eat too much fast food, you get fat, you don't go out. Then you don't meet new people. It's pretty basic stuff, guys. Having an optimistic view on life is okay, but it's not going to be enough. And you got to realize that positive thoughts will not work unless you put in the work. No matter how many positive thoughts you send out into the universe, unless you stop shoving Big Mac after Big Mac into your mouth and start hitting the gym, you're not going to be fit. Number 14. We are all born equal. Sorry to burst your bubble, but we are not. This might be the harshest thing on this list. And the sooner you understand this, the sooner you can maximize the impact you can have. We are not created equal based on thousands of years of history. Some people have been more successful in life than others. They use their force and influence to further their own agendas and create a more thriving environment for themselves and their children. That's the reality. For hundreds of years, women have been seen as second-class citizens. Even today in Saudi Arabia, women are seen as inferior to men. Being a white man or a woman in America gives you a way better shot at having a successful life than being born in the outskirts of Delhi, India. Having both of your parents in your life, setting a good example and helping you become better is a major head start against someone who was raised by a single mother struggling to put food on the table. Not everyone has access to the same resources. Not everyone has access to the same education or health care. You need to understand the implications that come with you. Being born into a certain geography or a certain race, being ignorant about it will do you no good. And once you're aware of the hard truth about the world you're living in, you'll be better off. The most important thing in the world to learn are the rules of the game. Once you do that, you can start winning. Number 15. Winners never quit, and quitters never win. What makes or breaks any living organism is not their resilience, but their ability to adapt to ever-changing environments. This is why winners never quit is bad advice. The better version of it is winners continuously adapt and stay ahead of the curve. You'll find yourself in different situations in life where your ability to realize that a certain project is going nowhere could make the difference between living a successful life or ending up as a failure. Smart people understand that no matter how emotionally invested you are, you've got a better show at refocusing your resources and energy on something else than wasting them and keep hitting your head into the same wall over and over again. In startups, we've got the term pivoting, which means changing direction based on newfound information or newfound opportunities. Nokia, the famous phone company, started as a Finnish paper mill that got things moving, then refocused on rubber products. Yeah, Nokia made tires and more after the rubber business started to wobble. They moved into electronics with TVs, radios, and the famous cell phones. their ability to see that the company was not doing well in a certain industry and to reinvent themselves in another is what made Nokia the titan that it was back in the day. The funny thing is, once they lost the ability to adapt, they lost the game. By the way, they're trying to make a comeback, but it's not going that well. We could go on for days, but this is a conversation, so let us know. What's the worst advice you've ever received? Let us know down in the comments the bad advice that people have given you so far in life. And as always, we'll do our best to reply to the most interesting ones. And because you watched with us until the end, we'll debunk another piece of advice unsuccessful people love to throw around. Like confetti number 16, you should listen to your teachers, elders, and family. It's not that we have a direct problem with this. However, we do have a problem with the whole not questioning them part. Parents teach their children to be obedient without question of people who are in positions of authority or for whom they should have respect for. This is terrible advice and does not develop the child the right way. Early on, you should question everything. Learn from your mistakes, from other people's mistakes, learn from your successes and for other people's successes, but never accept anything just on the basis that it's how things are. These authority figures should be there to provide wisdom, not information. The teacher should teach you how to learn for yourself. The elders need to realize that the world has changed and their advice might not be the most useful. Any progress comes from someone who's willing to break through the norm. Teach yourself and your children to question everything. We know this was a long video, and we truly hope you got some value out of it. If you've ever received any of these bad pieces of advice, please share this video on your Facebook or Twitter. It helps to spread awareness and maybe, just maybe, people will think twice before offering any unsolicited advice. Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos, which we recommend you watch next. Thank you for being a viewer, and we'll see you back tomorrow.